Without wasting any further time, ladies and gentlemen, this session is going to be moderated by somebody very, very innovative in the true sense of the term. She's an architect by qualification, an editor by profession. Now, after an active architectural practice of more than a decade, she's forayed in the field of journalism in the year 2006. If my mathematics is correct, 16 and then 26. So she'll complete 20 years in this space. Absolutely amazing. Her work has been published in some of the major national newspapers, ladies and gentlemen, all over the country. And she's also been a regular guest expert for our real estate shows. Like I always say, one of the most popular people of Realty Plus. Give it up for Sapna Srivastava, please, ladies and gentlemen, the editor, Realty Plus, one of the forces to reckon with in terms of today's event and the initiative. I believe Sapna ke liye aur zor se tali ho sakta hai. Yes, can we do that? Thank you so much. And our eminent honorable guest for the moment is somebody who needs no introduction, but of course, it's my humble honor and privilege to say certain things about sir. He has propelled Somany ceramics to global prominence, positioning it among the top 13 ceramic companies globally. His hands-on approach spanning shop floor operations to strategic leadership has shaped Somany ceramics into a household name in India. Today, the brand boasts a vast distribution network with 1,200 plus retail touchpoints and 500 plus exclusive showrooms, while its international footprint extends across 80 plus countries and 6 continents. As the former honorable chairman of Indian Council of Ceramic Tiles and Sanitary Ware, he has also played a pivotal role in key policy discussions impacting the ceramic ecosystem, and he continues to redefine the boundaries of creativity, business, and innovation in the ceramic industry. Ladies and gentlemen, no brownie points for guessing. I'm talking about the one and only Abhishek Somany, sir, Managing Director and CEO, Somany Ceramics. A big, big, big round of applause for sir, please. He's a true specialist in this space. हम लोग और ताली जब तक आप लोग नहीं बजाओगे हम लोग नहीं चालू करेंगे. See, that's the magic of words, right? Thank you so much, sir, for being with us over here. And Sapna, over to you. We'll update the timer and you can keep a track on that. Shukriya.
Thank you, Shubhajit, for those lovely introductions. And as Shubhajit mentioned, you've been like 3 decades now in this sector, leading Somany. What excites you, even after 3 decades, about this sector?
I think this sector has gone through a huge change, revolutionary change. It used to be a product which used to be a hygiene product. Typically went into terraces for waterproofing, or then into bathrooms and kitchens, and it was basically confined to that. Sizes were very small. It used to be specifically the plain colors, some sprinkles, etc. When I joined the business 30 years ago, there were all of, I think, 30 or 40 SKUs. That was the number of designs in 3 sizes. Today we have a few thousand SKUs. The industry has gone to such a revolution change that today we are replacing all natural stones, all natural woods. In fact, the tiles have gone so big and thin. The 3 tiles, which is about 8 feet, 10 feet tall and 4 feet wide. So soon this would start replacing even wallpaper. But I think the industry has already come to replace mostly the natural stones and also the tabletops. So if you see the best of brands in Italy, which are furniture brands, all their tabletops, tabletops such as what we have in front of us would be tiles. 99% would be tiles. So this is something which is really fascinating. I don't think we would have imagined this happening 30 years ago. And going forward, there's a lot of advancement happening on advanced ceramics. So tiles going to be solar charged, where it would heat buildings if you put it on the facade. There would be kinetic tiles which would generate electricity going forward. So lots of advancements are happening on tiles.
So is it the dynamic nature of this industry? There are a lot of innovations that keeps you excited. Oh, okay, what's next coming in?
Yeah, innovation and also design. I think design really excites me a lot. So what new we can do in designs, what are the brand new designs coming up? Of course, we are taking a chip of the Italian design houses, but we're indigenizing. But what's next for the consumer. I mean, today everybody is looking at the best of stones. So if you take a Thasos white, the Thasos white would range between 5,000 and maybe 8,000, 10,000 rupees a square feet. The same Thasos white or a Statvario, a good quality one, can within tiles, exactly the same. You cannot tell whether it's a tile or a marble, would be 100th the price. It should be 150 to 300 rupees a square feet. It's almost as if you're comparing a natural diamond to a lab-grown diamond. One can't tell. Unless you take it to the laboratory, you cannot tell whether it's a tile or a stone.
Okay, fantastic. So design, innovation, technology, I think everything is happening in this sector. You also spoke about Italian marble, the consumer trends. In our earlier sessions, we were discussing about luxury, how luxury real estate is becoming, there's a surge in luxury real estate. Similarly, premiumization in the building material sector is happening. That's the trend that we are seeing. When we talk about, as you mentioned, tiles, there's a lot of things which are happening now, the preferences of the buyers. So how it's happening there when we talk about premiumization?
So very clearly the tile sizes are becoming bigger because we are trying to emulate the stones. So the smallest size now would be a 1 feet by 2 feet, which used to be 6 inches by 6 inches 20, 30 years ago. And the largest size would be 4 feet or 5 feet by 10 feet. It's become thinner. The other big premiumization is happening is that a lot of architects do not want glossy surfaces, so a lot of matte surfaces. And there's very different kinds of surfaces which we are coming out with, which is not even possible in natural stones. So loads and loads of surfaces which are being newly created for the likes of the architects. It could be a completely non-reflective matte finish. It could be a slip-resistant finish where it's completely slip-resistant for an old age home, so on and so forth. So there are at least 20 different kinds of surfaces which are now doing the rounds, and so many more coming up in the near future. So the big change we've seen in premiumization is where customers want larger sizes, matte designs, muted designs, but a lot of play on surfaces, because they do not want finally the design of the tile which is replicating a Statvario or a Botticino or whatever. They don't want it similar to that surface what you could find in a natural stone. So they're looking out for a brand new surface, which is not possible in natural stone.
So earlier people wanted something imitating natural stone. Now you're saying that people want something different from that.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And the size, of course, the bigger the size, lesser the joints is something. And the matte finish. Another trend or another preference from buyers is now there is a lot of focus on sustainability. Everyone wants to go green. So when it comes to building materials, especially when we are talking about tiles, how is that, of course, sustainable? So, it's much sustainable due to its life cycle or durability. But what are the other factors when we talk about tiles? How sustainability is changing the conversation around tiles and the building materials?
So first of all, tile is not mined. So it's made from clay. Of course, clay is in abundance. It's not like a marble quarry which you're destroying or anything like that. Clay is available everywhere. It's like mud. So beyond the point, clay is much like even a brick is made out of clay. Cement is made out of limestone. So every building material to that extent is made out of something which comes out from the nature. So this is also clay which is abundantly available. We're not destroying nature. We're not deforestation or anything like that. So we're making tiles out of clay. Secondly, we're making tiles out of natural gas, which is the most cleanest fuel in the world. So there's no carbon footprint on the gas. And more importantly, we are recycling all our tiles. So anything which comes in from a waste of the process goes back into the process. Whatever is left, we've just started a division with the adhesive division, our tile adhesive division. All the tiles which cannot go back into the process, we crush. Earlier we used to throw in a landfill. Today we crush those tiles and we use it as a alternate to sand when we're making adhesives. So it actually performs better because the quality of clay which has gone into a tile is of far better quality than sand. So the adhesives are actually a much better quality than the local adhesives or the other adhesives which are available in the country. So we're basically trying to get net zero in the next 5-7 years. We're almost there. So we're basically trying to get there. So tile to that extent is extremely sustainable. It's a freight sensitive material, so we have multiple plants. As far as we are concerned, we have north plants, south plants, west plants. So we're as close as possible to the consumer, which again makes it that much more greener for him to buy from the closest point in terms of the fuel which is being burned to bring the tile in. So tile is generally a very energy efficient product.
Fantastic. So not only its durability, not only its natural content, but even the manufacturing is going green. As you mentioned, you're almost near net zero, and obviously the carbon emissions, because the plants are, it's a local, like buying a local material. Now, another, from premiumization to sustainability, now innovation. How the innovation in building materials sector again is probably influencing the modern architecture.
So innovation is something which we already spoke about in terms of size and how thin it can be. So I think earlier the tiles used to be of a single format, 9 mm, 10 mm, between that range. Today we can go from 3 millimeters to 30 millimeters. So there are 30 millimeters tiles which are now replacing the cement blocks. India doesn't unfortunately have any footpaths, but if we did, then like China and like abroad, you would be using tiles instead of cement blocks. Instead of the old cobblestone which we used to see, today we have tiles which are 30 mm like a cobblestone. They are fire grade tender proof. So if you see over here when the Asiad Games and the Commonwealth Games happened, pretty much all the stadiums had in their main areas in the tiles. Of course, India didn't have the 30 mm tiles then, so it was imported, but it still was tile. Today, India can produce that. And the other innovation is how thin we can go and yet be very strong. And surfaces are the other innovations. So many different surfaces. And earlier I talked about how we are very soon we'll have kinetic tiles. So just imagine a footpath and you have tiles and it's going to be generating electricity to power the lamp on the footpath. Or you would have a facade which would be solar charged and it would heat the building inside. So in a cold country it would be extremely beneficial. So all of those things are getting innovated in tiles.
Do architects sometimes come with you some peculiar demand? Okay, I'm making this building, I want material something like that.
It's mostly design led. They know that they all work in multiples of 2 feet or multiple of 1 feet. So they don't want to change that dimensions. Some architects do ask for specific dimensions, especially when it comes to the staircases. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't think they are wanting to overcomplicate their own product to change the sizes. But they definitely come up with a lot of demands for a specific kind of design. Lately, and there are both sides of the coin. There are some architects who want repetitive designs. There are some architects who want it so natural, like a marble, where every single tile should be different. So depends. But yes, we always have something or the other from the architects as a demand. And in fact, that's the only way for us to learn. Mm-hmm. The more they ask, the more we are learning. The more they are telling us as to what to do, I think we also catch the trend.
Correct.
A lot of the architects are now also following trends from the fashion industry, which is color trends. So for example, this year it's all about yellow and lilac. Last year it was some other color.
Mm-hmm. Are there any collaborations also between industry and the specifiers or the architects collaborating on probably developing some new design, some new material, some new kind of a product? Are there collaborations happening?
No, yes, no specific collaboration with a specific architect, but we always take the architect's views before we come up with a product, especially if it's a very expensive product.
Okay.
We do sample it out with a handful of architects to get their views. Mm-hmm. So no specific, but in the sanitary ware segment, which is our other segment, there are collaborations. You have these international designers doing stuff. You had Indian clothing designers doing stuff, but that's more branding than really. Of course, they come up with beautiful designs, but it's more branding.
Do you think there should be more collaborations between
why not?
the manufacturers and the people who are specifying these products?
So we discuss and take the views of specifiers.
Probably even builders, because they are the ones who are catering to the end segment?
So builders again don't want to experiment too much with sizes, rightly so. But designs, of course, they continuously keep. I think that whole circle is one circle of architects, designers, interiors, builders, and the mistris and the masons. The masons also want a tile or a product which is easy to install, easy to use. It improves their efficiency. So continuously we're taking feedback as to what better we can do, not only in producing the tile also, but applying the tile. Or applying the sanitary ware.
Totally true. It's a evolving segment. It will keep evolving, keep changing, keep taking feedback from the users, the industry, the specifiers, even manufacturers. For Somany, you've been leading Somany Ceramics for so many years now. As we mentioned, the number of outlets and the manufacturing units that Somany has. What the future looks like? Is India going to be the global hub for building materials? How will you be positioning Somany in next probably 5 years? What will we look ahead to?
So I don't know about the building sector, whether it will be a global hub. I'm not too sure of the other finishing segment. So first of all, the building segment is divided into three halves. One is the infrastructure, which is cement, steel, etc., which goes in roads, infrastructure, residential, commercial buildings, etc. Then there is behind the wall. Behind the wall is pipes, wires, etc. Then there's front of the wall. Front of the wall is what we do, which is tile, sanitary ware, bath fittings, etc. So I think this particular segment, we clearly will be the global leaders. India already has 2 amongst the top 15. The industry leader is at 6, 7 number in the world. We are at 11 or 12, the world's largest. So that again, obviously, I think it's only a question of time. We'll be in the top 10 and the top 5 very soon. Where we are going as far as our company is concerned, we're going to diversify. We've already diversified into sanitary ware and bath fitting. We've now diversified into construction chemicals. So that's another big segment. But clearly, India has already emerged in the tile sector as the second largest producer in the world, after China, obviously. But China is in a declining trend. The difference between China and India used to be 15 times. We used to be 1 billion square meters. China was 15 billion square meters. Today, China is 5 billion square meters and we are 2.5 billion square meters. So the difference from has reduced from 15 times to only 2 times. So the way China is going, I think we would either match them or overtake them pretty soon.
Okay, fantastic. My takeaways from this conversation with Mr. Somany is, one, in terms of the building material sector, the way it is changing, the way it keeps evolving. You mentioned about the 3 segments, the 4 segments, behind the wall, front of the wall, the basic infrastructure materials. I think in all the segments, innovation is, we talk about green cement now, high performance cement now, sanitary ware, as you said, there are collaborations. So it's the building material segment is continuously evolving. It's continuously learning. Companies like Somany is continuously reinventing itself with new products, new technologies, new innovations. And as Mr. Somany said, we are soon going to probably close the gap with China. We are already closing it very fast. And Somany is positioning itself. How do you see Somany in next 5 years? As you said, you are already diversifying the portfolio in many other segments. So where do you see Somany in next 5 years? So what's your...
We look at ourselves as the top 10 manufacturers in the world. That is one, but that's all about scale. India is growing, so we would also grow with India. We're very fortunate that we're a net debt-free company, so balance sheet is extremely strong. But where we are positioning ourselves in the next 5 years is, so I'll talk about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 100% of our revenue was tiles. Today, about 11%, about 12% of our revenues other than tiles, which is sanitary ware, bath fittings, and a little bit of construction chemical and geysers. In the next 5 years, we want this to go up by 30%. To 30%. So we would have 30% of our revenue from other than tiles and 70% would be tiles. So that's a clear direction. Plus, along the way, we would probably diversify into other products which are related products. Mm-hmm. So we want to be a one-stop shop as far as anything to do with waterproofing onwards to sanitaryware, bath fittings, and wall and floor coverings. So currently we are doing wall and floor coverings with tiles. Who knows, we may come up with some other kind of tiles which is going to be a different kind of a wall covering, which will replace laminate or ply or something like that.
Like you mentioned, for furniture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. That was a very, encouraging, and all the best to you, Mr. Somany, for
Thank
all
you.
the plans that you have. We look forward to all those new products. And thank you for sharing those very
Thank you.
insightful perspectives about the industry, about where we are going, how the consumer behavior is. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing your time with us. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Which Sapna can give to sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time and being with us. We value your presence over here thoroughly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that you need to clap and appreciate. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us over here. Thank you so much, Sapna. Truly, truly an inspiring success story indeed. We look forward to something like this the next year as well. Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, sir.